This is the AOC Sports High School Football Preview Show.
Week 9 of the high school football season here on UTV 44 Friday Night Rivals. I'm Jim Cox, my partner Dan Brennan here at AOC as we get ready for another 7A Region 1 matchup tonight. Fairhope and Baker playing across the bay. And boy, Dan, we had not seen the Fairhope team prior to last week. Saw them go over to Theodore, get a very impressive win, and wow, we were talking with the coaches. Both coaches were singing praises of Baker, but boy, that Theodore team went over there. What Theodore team saw Fairhope come over. What an impressive win by the Pirates last week.
It was, because with Theodore, you might try to trick them. Yep. You might try to fake them. You might try to do things misdirection, and maybe in a way that you can say that's what Fairhope did do, but they were actually the more physical team. And I'll tell you what, certainly they run the veer on offense, and not a lot of people see that, and Theodore looked like that in the first quarter, right? But on defense, they gave Theodore nothing. Kirsten Rogers and that running attack, it just wasn't to be found at all. Matter of fact, the coach at Theodore confessed to me in a post-game text. I'll leave that out of it, but his words were very expressive that Fairhope was the better team that night.
And Theodore rarely gets out physical.
No, that's their whole thing.
Yes.
They're year in, year out, maybe the most physical team in 7A down here along the coast. On Friday night, at least for one night, they were not.
It was an impressive win. We'll talk more about it with Coach Carter here in just a few minutes. Dr. Cesar Roca with us here, one of our favorite doctors as we we've talked all kinds of ailments and shoulders. We don't talk about them all that often, but something we see and you hear about. So like on the football side, what are the most common ones you see on a Friday night?
No, interestingly, you're right. In the past, we usually focus like ACL tears, et cetera, et cetera. For some reason, this year has been shoulders. It's been shoulder injuries. And I'm seeing quite a few of shoulder dislocations. So the thing about shoulders, there are two things, and sometimes patients get confused. Is like, I separated my shoulder or dislocated my shoulder. What's the difference? Well, there are basically two main joints in the shoulder. Mm-hmm. So where the clavicle meets the shoulder blade, if you fall on the tip of the shoulder and that clavicle separates, it's actually a dislocation, but we call that a separation. And if it's just intact, it's maybe a matter of a couple of weeks. But if it slips completely off, sometimes you need to have surgery for that. Whereas where the gonochumeral joint lives, where the socket and ball lives, is deeper in here. And if someone's tackling a player and you're reaching for tackle and you keep going, and the shoulder does this motion, then the shoulder rips out of the socket. And unfortunately, if you are a younger person, like 15, 16, 17, and it happens once, you have 90% chance that shoulder is going to re-dislocate. Wow. So I've already operated on about 2 or 3 children, young men playing football, and we try to keep them playing if we can with braces. I had a young man that I put him in a solid brace to play, and then he took it off because it was smelly, and guess what happened? Oh. So so things to prevent it is you have if someone's coming away from you, you gotta let go. I know it's hard when they hit a battle not to do
it's
that.
easy to think about that.
Oh no, I'm not gonna. No, they're gonna play. They're gonna play. But but strengthening their rotator cuff muscles, etc., and good technique. Just keep your arms in front of you and try to avoid it. But now falling on your shoulder directly on the tip. Hopefully the shoulder pads will protect you, but if you fall directly on that and the clavicle dislocates, again, they're in season, we try to let them play as much as we can, but if you get to a certain point where you can't, like I tell my players, my first responsibility is to keep them safe. Right. My second responsibility is to get them back as soon as possible. Mm-hmm. If I can possibly make you play, I'll go let you play, but work with me, because if I tell you can't play, it's because I have done everything possible to keep you playing.
Yeah, you think about it, a lot, like you said, a lot of times somebody gets wrapped up and all the weight comes down on the shoulder. You see that a lot, but I didn't think about the separation.
And talk about the developmental players, one that may be a freshman in high school. Is it more likely to happen to a player like that, or is it less likely?
It's interesting if it's a middle school child, usually so flexible. They're usually in the younger children who are still growing, we worry about more things like baseball, like overuse injuries. It usually happens. You have a star pitcher, and everybody, oh, we want Johnny to play because he's going to win for us.
Yeah.
And then he plays too much, then they can actually affect their growth play. They can actually separate, or even their elbow. So it's very important for us to be aware of not overuse and overtax. It's hard. We want to win. The coaches want to win. The kid wants to win. The parents want to win. But overuse injuries can be quite devastating.
And luckily, it's more focused now, and coaches are more aware of that.
Absolutely.
Than we were.
We're so much more conscious about that.
Right,
absolutely.
All right, Coach Doc, always good to
Coach, doctor, whatever.
You're kind of like a coach. Kind of like a coach. Get him back out there. Good seeing you. Talking about shoulders here tonight. When we come back, we'll talk about tonight's big matchup. Baker and Fairhope will get the Hornets side of things. They've played great football this year. We can't wait to hear all about it. We'll talk about it coming up right after this. Last week was our first chance to see Fairhope on the season in 7A. This week, our first chance to see Baker, and we're excited about that because we were talking Coach Norman here around the field when Coach Carter and Coach Collier at Theodore, they were both singing the Hornets' praises before our game last week.
They really were, and if you just keep an eye on high school football week by week, you're saying something's going on at Baker. So we're going to break it down now. Coach is going to give us all the juicy nuggets so we can figure out exactly how the Hornets are playing so well since opening week.
Yeah, Steve Norman here, the coach. JAYVEN Williams, wide receiver, here with us to talk about tonight's game. And so basically, a win against Fairhope, and now you got three-way tie atop the region, which is big. But I also know it's just big because it's the next game on Friday.
It's the next game on the schedule, so it's a big game because of that. Yeah, absolutely. And I haven't even looked at all the tiebreaker stuff. I don't even know what's what with all that. So.
We'll explain it to you before the game. Dan and I.
You might need to pull this whiteboard out and kind of diagram it out.
Flow chart.
Diagram it out for me.
So Fairhope, as we saw with Theodore last week, presents a unique challenge running that veer. How well they do it. Maybe a little blessing in disguise, your matchup that you had last week over Pine Forest?
We played Pine Forest over Pensacola last week to kind of get a little warm up to what we're going to see Friday night. They run similar stuff, it's still the option, so you got to make sure you're very disciplined with your players and make sure everybody's going dive, quarterback, and pitch, so it makes it tough on us. We don't see it a whole lot, so it's kind of a different type of offense, and their defense is really good too. I mean, they run a very good forefront, and they're very sound at what they do. They're it's a total package with them. So they're every face.
Did you kind of know coming into this year that looking at the group of kids you had, that hey, this could be one of those years that we really have a chance to make some?
Yeah, we kind of felt that way, especially after spring. We had a very good spring, and we kind of installed some new stuff, during spring training, and through that, and then having kids like JAYVEN. I mean, great players make great coaches. Thank God. So with the kids that we had, some of the things that we were doing with them, we felt like, well, maybe we'll have a chance to be a little bit better this year.
Yeah, coaches that we talked to early in the year said, check out Baker. Yeah. And I said, what is it about Baker? They said they're very athletic. Yeah. Well, are we talking about this guy?
Absolutely, absolutely. JAYVEN is unbelievable young man to have on the team, and not only is the fact that he's a great athlete, it's obvious he plays football, he plays basketball, he plays baseball, and does great in all those. He's got almost 500 yards on the season, 6 touchdowns, yada yada yada. But the best thing about him is the way he is on the field. And he's my leader. He's my guy that if it's a long practice, it's 120 out there, he grabs them by the nape of the neck, pulls them up, said, let's go, let's get one more rep. So that's the best thing about him, absolutely.
When you look at this this game on Friday night, you see what Fairhope does defensively. They've been stingy, but you guys are usually up for a challenge like that, right? It's up for a challenge, right?
Yes, sir.
Look at this matchup. What do you see as you come in? Like, what's going to be the key for Baker getting the victory against this Fairhope team?
I feel like our key is going to be our defense stepping up, playing really hard.
Defense has got quite a challenge this week with the Veer offense. Do you feel like they can have their assignments down in 2 weeks' time and be ready to go?
Yeah, sir. We've been working hard every day at practice, so I have no doubt.
That offense presents some problems. Your offense could cause some challenge for teams. Well, Trey Flowers having a great year. She talks about the year JAYVEN's having. Yep. So I mean, you that side of the football. Right. that's been
It's been
really
good
coming
for us,
together.
absolutely. Yeah. And we're very fortunate. Jamari Hawkins is another one of our receivers who's
Nice
been
to have
playing
kids back that played
yes,
a lot
played
last year.
right? And and JAYVEN, he's only been here with us for 2 years, so he came out his junior year. I had to bribe his mama to get him to come out. I mean, she didn't want him to play. She was worried about a baby getting hurt. So, but
Meanwhile, he's breaking ankles for kids on the defensive side of the ball.
Exactly. And Josh is a young quarterback. He's only a sophomore, but he is really developing a lot as we progress through all this, and he's learning a lot, which is good. And then Jamari, and then some of our offensive linemen have been there for 3 years. Years Torrin Lindmark has started since he's a sophomore, so they've been there's some guys that have been there for 3 years on Friday night, mixed in with some young kids. So it's been a kind of a unique challenge.
Talk about the growth of your quarterback. Josh Flowers. What has he done? How has he progressed and gotten better?
He's progressed tremendously. Like I said,
it's a lot to ask for a sophomore.
For a sophomore, when you face a team like Fairhope, who are so good and so sound and are so good at what they do to disguise what they do with their coverages, and it's so hard for a sophomore just because they don't have a lot of experience on a Friday night reading the defenses, reading the coverages, and know what their read should be. So he's done a great job so far. Yeah.
And also to the just the culture of Baker football has
Right.
really made a great change over the since you've been there, had some success out there. It's really great to see that culture, the attitude change.
We always say like West Mobile's a little bit. We almost have our own little community out there because and what's always been great. And I've been there a long time, but we've always had great support from our fans. Our hooligans are always great on Friday night. It's just a great atmosphere. For a Friday night football game.
We didn't really realize that until maybe 10 years ago. We did a game at Baker, and we had no idea that it was that big a deal.
That's right.
And
it's a lot of fun.
And it was always the talk of, hey, boy, they're great in baseball, they're great in other things. How about football? And so it's great to see
so
that.
We're almost turning the corner. We got a tough road to hoe this week, but we're getting there.
I met him. He was the MVP of a fish fry. I won't get into what he said.
All right, Coach. Thank you, JAYVEN. You'll be back in the last segment with Heather. When we come back, we'll talk Fairhope Pirates and their big win last week as they get ready for tonight's matchup against Baker here on Friday Night Rivals. Tonight, we'll be over on the Eastern Shore. .7A Region 1 matchup tonight at the top of the region as we get ready for this one, Fairhope and Baker. And Coach Tim Carter here with us, Pratt Turner from the Pirates. And Coach, we were talking about the game last week, and you told Heather on the field afterwards that it was a big win because it's a quality team. You know what it takes to beat a Coach Collier, coach team. But the thing I liked in that game, you got out to the big lead early, but then there's some adversity there as well because they didn't just roll over. They made some changes. It was a battle the whole night. And I thought it was just a great start to finish win for your squad.
Absolutely, it was a great high school football game. We got off to a good start. Came out and played defensive. They took the ball to start the game, and we were able to get a couple early stops. I don't think they had but one first down in the first quarter, and our offense really jumped on that. But then they bowed their back a little bit, and the second quarter kind of fought their way back in it. We had some miscues. We missed a couple field goals, had one block that I really was nervous that we didn't get a little further out front. But in the second half, it was a good back and forth battle. They scored one, we scored one, and then we're able to bow our necks at the end. But it was a 48-minute game, and I was really proud of our guys.
I was surprised by it, quite frankly. Now, I saw that you guys have been playing well, but you took their identity away from them. They like to run the ball. They like to stop the run. They're kind of bully ball a little bit. And the bullies were on the bus, came across the Bayway, as it turned out. And it was just impressive to see because that team is so predicated on playing that kind of football, and you really took it away from them, had them kind of spinning out of direction. They did recover a little bit, but through the whole 4 quarters, it was your game.
Well, I was really proud of our kids, and we were concerned going over there that would we be able to stop the run game, which they based so much of their offense off of. And they passed the ball effectively at times against us. But I was really proud. It was 11 guys around the ball. We were really pursuing and reading our keys, and that was satisfying for me. I'm working a little more on the defense this year, but it was also really good to see our option attack work the way we wanted it to. You know, we came into this year and with a lot of what ifs, and we lost a very pro-style type quarterback. We didn't have that option coming in, and but Coach Williams and Coach Messina, those offensive guys just designed a game plan that would help us be competitive, and it was good to see that work.
Now sitting atop the region, Pratt Turner, who's a bit of a switch army knife on the offensive side of the ball for your team, receiver, little A-back, returner, had a big return set up things. Had to feel great going over to Theodore and getting that win last Friday night.
Yes, sir. It was a team win.
You know, looking at that game last week, you go over there, you know you're in a tough stretch. You got a Theodore matchup, then you got coming up this week, you know you got Baker looming on the horizon. To get that one, it's got to have y'all in a great frame of mind for the matchup against Baker.
Oh, yes, sir. Everyone's got to be playing. Everybody's going to be locked in and just ready to go.
One more, when Coach showed you what you're going to be doing on offense this year, were you like,
it was a little different. I've never run something like that before.
Was it fun to learn? Yeah.
Installed in the spring, right?
Yes, sir.
Okay. All right. So
we started doing the shifts and the flipping, and he knows how to motion about 10 different ways. And
I'm pretty conditioned.
And we did that over and over and over. And Pratt and Jack Bird, they do most of that, and they just really caught on to it. And their timing is excellent on those type plays.
Am I missing? I'm sorry, Jim, but am I missing something? Or your team's got some speed. Is it complete misdirection where you catch them a step slower? Because I saw some bursts out of your group.
Yeah, we're fast downhill. You know, our guys, I think we're a little deceptive in some ways, and I think we've got a lot of quickness.
Yes.
That's really good.
Quarterback's quick.
Absolutely, and you know, that's very important. Most of the game of football is played within a 10-yard window, so you know it's been very effective for us. And Pratt's one of those guys. You know, he's got a good little burst about him. He can make you miss, and with just a little jitter step. And so you know, we hope we can continue some of that success.
We enjoyed watching your team last week.
Yeah,
really
is it fun? I mean, you know, besides just the running between the hash marks, you know, but is it a fun offense to play in?
Yes, sir. You're always doing something. So.
And boy, they get just a little out of step, and it's off to the races. This Baker team, like, so you were telling us on the field, Dan and I and Coach Collier, and we were talking for the game, and you were like, Baker's really good. It was very unsolicited. It was just we were just kind of eavesdropping on the two coaches talking. I mean, you were singing their praises even before this week. Yeah, well, I think the world of Steve. I think he's done a great job at Baker. He's really kind of started to transform the program. They had a little run under Coach French, but Steve's just kind of brought that back, and you know, he's, I think, a tough guy. He's got a good physical mentality. His teams are playing that way, but they've got a lot of speed too, and that's something that's very concerning. They can run, they make plays, they play together. The move at quarterback has really played well for them. They've got guys with burst, and they get after you up front on offense and defense. I think both of their lines are really good. So we know it's a challenge, and it didn't take long to get our guys. You know, it was a great win. There was a lot of celebration just because how Theodore's kind of had our number. But I'm gonna tell you what, they came right back to earth, and they were ready to go. You know, we had a good week. I hope it's enough. I mean, I really mean that. This is a very difficult game for us, and you know, it's two good football teams. So I hope we play well, and I hope they put it on the ground a lot, and we don't. It's a great opportunity for both games. It's a great matchup, and it's why it's our Friday night rivals. Coach, we will see you before kickoff over there at beautiful Fairhope, and Pratt. Keep running between the cut up field once. We'll call your name a lot if you do that. When we come back, Heather's going to get us ready for kickoff. She's going to talk with both of the players here tonight. She'll have our Wendys Giant of the Week as well. And as I said, she'll get us ready for our kickoff tonight. Friday Night Rivals, it's Baker and Fairhope here on UTV 44.
School Football Preview Show. I am Heather Healy. Jim and Dan are up in the press box now. And before we get into some fun with the players that we've got tonight, it is time to announce Wendys Giant of the Week. Congratulations to Cooper Wilson, a senior tight end for Spanish Fort High School. He is this week's Wendys Giant of the Week. Do you want to be the Giant of the Week? If you're a junior or a senior who plays on the football team at any of the high schools in our Alabama viewing area, you could win. Just log on to UTV 44 and click on the contest page to be entered for a Wendys Giant of the Week prize pack. Pretty cool stuff in there. Rules and regulations, of course, do apply. All right, we've got Pratt Turner from Fairhope, and then we have got JAYVEN Williams from Baker here, and we have got some fun questions. But before we get into all the fun stuff, gotta ask, big game across the bay on Friday night. What are you excited for most?
Really, I'm excited for most. Probably the energy.
The energy. Talk a little bit about the energy.
The energy going out there. I mean, you only get one chance to go beat a really good football team, and it's going to be a lot of fans, a lot of people screaming, and it's nothing just like Friday Night Lights.
Going to be a lot. That's exactly. I like that. Nothing like Friday Night Lights. What about you? What are you excited for most?
Just getting out there, playing my home team, getting out there and playing. I've had a good week of preparation. Think we're ready to go. Just go out there and play hard.
I was talking with Coach earlier. I'm excited for that cannon. I've never seen anything like that before.
Oh, yeah.
So super excited for it. All right, fun questions, the hardest questions that you're ever going to get asked. You ready?
Yeah, I'm ready.
Okay, I'm going to first start with you, Pratt. Your dream car?
Probably a Lamborghini.
A Lamborghini. What about you?
A Lamborghini.
What color?
White.
Black.
Black. Okay, there we go. Different answers. I like that. What kind of football watchers are you? If you're sitting down on Saturday and you're watching college football, I was quite the coach when I was watching my Sooners last week take on Texas. If you guys are watching, what kind are you? A squirmer, a screamer, a coach, neutral? What kind of watcher are you if you're sitting on the couch on Saturday?
I would say a coach.
You're a coach. Okay. Yeah. Okay. Are you a hard coach or are you just kind of going easy on them?
Going easy.
Okay, what about you?
I'd have to be the same. I'm up there in front of the TV telling them what to do.
Yeah.
Screaming at them.
Yeah.
They drop a pass, you know.
Yeah. Like, oh, dude, you had it, you know?
I know.
Yeah, you
like,
know.
I would have caught that.
Yeah, exactly, right? You and I are on the same exact page. It is the season of fall, in case you guys didn't know. Pumpkin pie, apple pie, or pecan pie?
Pecan pie.
Oh, okay. What about you?
Apple pie.
Apple. Oh, yes. Apple's my absolute favorite. Favorite ice cream flavor? Go.
Oreo.
Ooh, Oreo. Cookies and cream?
Cookies and
Yeah.
cream.
Cookies
same.
and, yeah, see, all three. Cookies and cream is my absolute favorite. If an actor could play you in a movie, who would it be?
Superman.
Superman. Okay,
Yeah.
Superman would be the actor?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, what about you?
Probably Adam Sandler.
Adam Sandler.
He's a little comedian.
Yeah.
Like to crack jokes and stuff.
I like that. And last question I have for you guys. Your favorite Halloween costume growing up as a kid?
My favorite is probably the little skeleton.
Yeah?
Yeah.
You were a skeleton growing up?
Yeah.
What about you?
I was a football player growing up. I'd grab my park league pads
Yeah.
and helmet and probably go around to the houses and that.
And then the last one I'll ask you, favorite Halloween candy?
Snickers.
Okay.
Sour Patch Kids.
Really? Oh, Reese's
sure.
for me. Thank you guys so much for playing my fun little game. Good luck, be safe, be fair, have fun tonight. And in just about 10 seconds, we've got kickoff. Stay with us.